What is going on, everybody? So this adorable little thing next to me is the 2020 Mini Electric, or Mini SE. So in this video, we're gonna go over every detail about this car. So let's go ahead and get started. All right, everyone, let's go ahead and check out the 2020 Mini Cooper SE. Now, this is the first fully electric Mini that has ever been made. And this is gonna be obviously my full in-depth review. So we're gonna do exterior first, then interior, check out trunk space, under the hood, and then I'm going to do a drive to see how well this does both in the city and in the highway. So be sure you guys stay tuned for the whole review. Now, I do wanna say that pricing is pretty good on this. Probably the most attractive thing about this vehicle. If you get a base model, it's around $29,000, and then once you throw in the $7,500 federal tax credit plus the incentives that Mini's doing, you can have this for as low as $17,000 to $18,000 for a base model. Now, this is the iconic trim, so this is as decked out as you can get it, and this is around $36,000. But even including those same tax incentives, you're talking $25,000 to $27,000 after taxes are applied. So that's still not a bad price. Now, obviously the big factor is going to be range, and we'll check that out once I take it for a drive. And this color is going to be called white silver metallic. It's a good color. I don't think it's the best color. It does make those lime accents stand out though. And the other thing I do want to talk about is the front. So as we move along to the front, you guys will see here, it is going to have a blanked out grille here. So unlike the normal S model, you don't have an engine, so it is going to be just fully blanked out here. So let me get to the side, maybe I can get you guys a better look here. But yeah, so no functionality for the most part. You're going to have a little inlet here in the middle, and that is going to be functional. Your E badge there. As you go up, this hood scoop is not going to be functional. You have your updated Mini logo, which looks pretty good. And you're going to have full LED lights on this car. You have your LED daytime running light, which looks nice. It's like your nice little ring that Mini has had for the past few years. And then at night, everything's just super bright, super crisp. You have LED low beams, LED high beams. Your fog lights are going to be LED, and they also have this nice little ring around them, and it really makes this car look very, very expensive at night. Now as we move up, you have this nice little hood bulge right there. Then moving to the wheels, here's the funniest part. So I kid you guys not, these are called Corona spoke wheels. I'm not kidding, it's so funny. But given the current situation in the world, Mini did actually change the name of this, so now it's called the Power Spoke wheels. And I think the wheels look great, and if you're wondering why the crazy design, it's actually meant to mimic the outlets that are mostly used in the UK, so those 3-prong outlets. I mean, you can really appreciate the design going on here. So has your Mini logo there in the middle, and you have all of this unique pattern going along the outside, and these are actually wrapped in Eagle F1 tires. I'm not even kidding. They're pretty aggressive tires, so if you were to put a more economical tire, maybe like a Michelin Primacy tire on here, you could probably pull more range out of it. But as is, these tires do a great job of just laying that power down in a very fun way. Now moving up, you have your blinker here off to the side with this nice little accent going around it. And now moving back, you have your typical Mini Cooper profile. I mean, this thing has looked the same since early 2000s, maybe even before then, but it's a nice classic look, and I quite like it. And I'm not gonna lie to you guys, I love these wheels. I think they look so good. Now coming to the rear quarter panel, one thing you are gonna notice is you have a little British flag in the rear tail light. So you can see that obviously at night, and then when you blink, the blinker's gonna be full LED, and just the whole thing looks very unique. Your E badge back here, Cooper S badge, once again updated Mini badge, and then you are not going to have any exhaust. So let's go ahead and check out the inside. Okay, so let's check out the inside of the Mini Cooper SE. Now, as you come to the door, you've got pretty decent door materials. It is going to be slightly soft up here. You're gonna have this piano black coming right there. Obviously your door handle with your door locks right there, a little speaker for your Harman Kardon sound system, window controls, Mini Cooper S door sill right here, which looks pretty nice. You're gonna have your pedals, which have a fun, unique look to them. You even have this like yellow stitched carpet right here with this like leather outline, which is pretty nice. Now your trunk release is in this tiny, tiny spot. You guys can see it right there next to your hood release. Then as you come to the seats, you have full manual seats on here, which is surprising to see, but not really at the same time, because this really is kind of a bargain of a vehicle. The leather quality, however, is incredible. This is the iconic trim level, so this is the most decked out one. You have this quilted leather, incredibly soft thigh extension, as you guys saw there, and you've got this gray like fabric piping that's going to go all along the side, and it's a really impressive, comfortable, and high quality seat design. But let's go ahead and hop in and we'll check out the rest. All right, so let's go ahead and shut the door on the Mini. Pretty solid shut, nice and quiet in here. And then to start, very simple, foot on the brake, and you have this little trigger here, and you're gonna push that down. And you can hear that crazy futuristic noise that it makes. So, starting at the steering wheel, nice steering wheel. It's very chunky, so you've got some nice extensions here. Nice place to put your thumb. The leather quality, I mean, is incredible. Little British flag right here, piano black, stitching going through the middle, and once again, the leather quality is very, very nice. Nice extension here. It feels really good in your hands. It's super chunky, nice area to put your thumbs. These controls are going to be to control things like previous, next, volume, phone commands, voice commands. Your updated Mini symbol right there, and this is going to be for your cruise control. Now the thing is, you do not have adaptive cruise on here, so that is one thing you do lose out on, even on the fully loaded trim. And coming over here, you're going to have automatic wipers, your little rear wiper located there. Over here, you are going to have automatic lights. Automatic high beam is going to be this little button on the bottom of the stock. Your actual light controls are going to be right down here. And right next to that, you're going to have your fog lights, and then you're going to have your interior illumination located right there. Now moving up, you're going to have, of course, your vent, another speaker here for your Harman Kardon sound system. Here is your head-up display, which is basically the way, I guess, Mazda used to do it. Let me see if I can focus here. There we go. So it looks good, it's very clear. It doesn't ever get in my way in a bad way. So this is what I would see right at my eye height. And it's nice. As you guys can see, it's not distracting at all. Moving to the middle here, you do have a speaker right up here. All soft touch up here. It's kind of like a soft rubber. And then as you come here, you have this ring. And the cool thing I like about this ring is that it's just a really cool thing. So if I adjust my temp, you guys can see it goes from red and it goes to blue depending on which side you go to, which is a pretty nice little feature. You can obviously change the colors. Ambient lighting in here looks incredible, and there's so many unique little quirks about this car that really make it feel high-end. It makes it feel luxurious. It makes it feel fun overall. Then as you move over here, you have this just interesting pattern with this yellow like stripe going right there. And then moving down, you're going to have dual zone climate control located right here, all of your different zones there in the middle. You have these switches down here. This is going to be for parking sensors. This is going to be for regenerative braking right there. Of course, you saw your start stop. You're gonna have your traction, different drive modes right here, heated seats located there, all of your AC controls, heated seats for both sides. You do not get cooled seats. As you come down, you have two USBs located right down there. You guys can see my phone plugged in. You have this little shifter here, which is very old school BMW-esque, but you pull this, pull back, push all the way forward for reverse, have your backup camera that comes up with guidance lines. You have 360 sensors, but no 360 camera view. So unfortunately, you aren't gonna have that, but the lines are going to move with the steering wheel, which is very nice. And you also have a park assistant as well, and the park assistant works very well. And obviously push this button here on top to put it into park. Coming down, you can control the screen using this, or it is also a touch screen, so you can actually touch it and do various functions by using the touch screen. Or once again, you can use this little control knob located down here with your corresponding buttons. Left and right will scroll you up and down, and then push to select electronic parking brake. And as you move back, you have this tiny little armrest. and it's very soft, so you guys can see, but you can only rest one arm on here, so you will be fighting for arm space if you have a passenger. Lift that up, wireless charging pad, which nicely slides in there. My phone is not compatible, so unfortunately I can't even utilize it. And then you lift that up to reveal your storage space, which I just have my lens cleaning cloth located there. Then as you move to the back, you have a little cup holder. We'll get to the back in just a second. Here's the E logo on this mat, though you don't get it on the driver's side mat. Light in there for your glove box. As you move up, you have auto dimming mirror with a compass located right there, and you also have HomeLink located under there as well. More switches up here which look really cool. So these switches are going to be for your lights. You're going to have LED lights in here which are very bright. This is going to be to open your moonroof right there. So that will actually tilt it and then pull it back once again to open it. So very nice. Then of course SOS, airbag off right over here. You're going to have your visor, and it's going to have lights in there. And honestly, that's pretty much it. So let's go ahead and check out that small little back seat. Okay, so getting in the back seat of the Mini SE. Now, getting in is like pretty tough. Now, I'm 6 feet tall, and sitting behind myself, I have zero knee room. I'm squished. I'm absolutely squished back here. There's no way. Now, if this person was short, like if my wife were driving, this would be great. I could sit back here, and let's go ahead and see what that would look like. So if my wife were driving, it would be like here. And at that point, I have about 2 inches, you know, and surprisingly, my headroom is really good back here. If I had this amount of knee room normally, I would be pretty comfortable back here for at least 30 minutes. You have 3 cup holders back here, 1, 2, 3, which is funny because you would never ever put 3 people back here. This middle area is super soft. It's not an armrest or anything, but it's just nice to have and lean on. There's pretty much nothing else back here. You have your seatbelt, obviously. You can hang stuff back here, so if you have dry cleaning and there's no one sitting back here, you can hang that on each side. And then you have 2 speakers back here. But to get out, you pull this latch, push forward, and that's it. Let's go ahead and check out the trunk. All right, it's coming to the back of the Mini SE. Now, you guys can see you have a decent amount of space. It's pretty small. Here's your cubic feet if you guys want to check that out. You can also fold the seats down by pulling up this little latch right here and just pushing forward. Both seats will fold down. You can also remove this cargo cover. That way it's not in your way when you're trying to load things. You also have a little secret compartment right underneath here, which is really nice. Your charging cable is going to be underneath there, and you can remove that, put that in your garage, and you have a little bit of extra space. So that is nice. But that's pretty much going to be it for the back here. Let's go ahead and see what's under the hood. Okay, so under the hood of the Mini SE. Now, obviously, there's no motor, there's no gas in this car at all. This is the same components you're going to find in like the BMW i3. Though with this one, this is putting out the same amount of power as the BMW i3S, which is the sportiest version of the i3. So this is going to make 181 horsepower, 199 pound-feet of torque. And obviously it's going to be sent to the front wheels because Mini has always been known to make front-wheel drive vehicles except for like the Clubman. And with the i3, that's power is going to be sent to the rear wheels. So there is a slight difference as to which wheels are being driven in this versus an i3. But either way, this is rated at 110 miles on one charge. This is a 32.6 kilowatt hour battery pack, though you are only able to access about 28 kilowatt hours of that energy. And so what that does is it allows you to charge a lot faster. So this will do 80% in about 36 minutes is what Mini says, which is pretty good. But let's go ahead, get this on the road and see what the actual range we can pull out of this is. Okay, so starting the range test, right now I'm doing city driving only. Right now it projects 108 miles. I would go to Green Plus, but that's going to cut your AC. It's going to dramatically get rid of your acceleration response, and that's not practical for most people. So green's going to be a really good best case scenario for most people. Now, if you do live in an area where Green Plus is good for you, then you'll obviously get more than what I'm about to get in this test. But let's go ahead and get started and see what this gets in the city. Okay, everyone, so let's go ahead and check this out. 71 miles remaining, let's just say 27 miles that I've driven. And that's going to equal about 98 miles, which is below the EPA. So I'm curious to see if it'll hold on to that remaining range tomorrow when I go and drive some more. And then just so you guys know as well, I'm gonna scroll through here. My miles per kilowatt hour is 4.3 miles per kilowatt hour, which is pretty good. And then if I hit that again, my average miles per hour was 21.5. Now, obviously I wasn't going 21 miles an hour. I think the fastest I went was about 53, 54. And yeah, obviously it was stoplights, and so I would cruise along, and I went up Highway 1, so it was just cruising through Dana Point, Laguna Beach, and Newport, and then made my way back. But either way, we'll keep driving it tomorrow and see how it does. Okay, everyone, so here is the plan for today. Now, I only have about 60-ish miles remaining. It's going to be a good day. It's going to be pretty exciting. Going to be lots of driving, but once again, this is for science, and we're going to see how far this Mini can travel, at least in my hands. So let's go ahead and get going. Okay, so just to update you guys on how I've been driving, basically. So still in green mode. I've been in green mode like this entire time. And the thing that may be affecting range is, I mean, I'm in Southern California, so there's a lot of hills out here. So lots of up and down. And obviously, you know, once you go up a hill like I'm going up right now, you're gonna use a lot more energy as opposed to coasting down the hill. Now, in some situations, I go up the hill and then I don't necessarily descend as far up as I climbed. So you technically aren't getting all of that energy back that you're using going up the hill, if that makes sense. Either way, it's doing pretty good. And you know what? 110 miles is a lot further than I thought. It feels a lot further than I thought. I'm used to seeing, 100 miles on the gas tank, and then once I get down to like 20, 30 miles, it's usually when I fill up. So it's interesting completely depleting this, because there's that part of me that's like, man, I should go ahead and find a charging station. But just to let you guys know, I have 20 miles remaining, and I've driven 98 miles. So if that proves to be correct, that will be over the EPA, which is always good. Now my question is, how far over is it going to go? So I already know it's going to hit the EPA. My question is, how far is this thing going to go until you actually just can't drive it anymore? And that's what I'm going to find out. So let's keep driving and let's see how this does. All right, you guys, it officially died, so I cannot drive it anywhere. And ironically, I am this far away from the charging station. And just to show you, let's go ahead and see here. Ugh. All right, so I guess can I still turn this on? Okay. So it's not letting me drive anywhere. Let's see if I can adjust this. Yeah, so if I put it in drive, right, and I floor it, it's not letting me do anything. It will not let me go into reverse. Will it let me go into neutral? Ooh, it's not letting me go into neutral, so this may not be good. Okay, I guess the car wasn't turned on all the way, but it is letting me go into neutral and reverse now. Okay, so that's good. Now let's go ahead and see moment of truth. I'm going to go ahead and shut the door. Pull these windows up. Now keep in mind, it's pretty hot today for California. It's 85 degrees, and it's been pretty toasty. Now let's go ahead and hit OK. We'll go through here. All right, so scrolling through, I drove 125.7 miles. Now here's the thing. It took me 2 days, and it took me a long time this morning to deplete the rest of that battery. Once it got to 60 miles, it just held on and held on to that range for a very, very long time. Now, when you think about it, okay, so if you live in an apartment like I do right now, you will have to utilize these unless your apartment or your garage has a cable. Now, if you do live at home, you can top this off every night, and this will completely charge overnight if you're using a 240 volt. And if you use a standard 3-prong outlet, you know, it'll at least get to 50%, if not a little bit more. And that is awesome because 125 miles is actually a decent amount, especially for city driving. Now remember, this is city driving, and also remember I was in green. If I would have thrown it into green plus at some moments, I probably could have gotten above that, which once again, for the price of this, considering all the incentives, even with this fully loaded version, you're paying no more than like $26,000, $27,000, which is a pretty good deal for this vehicle. And the build quality is great, and it drives really nice. By the way, let's go ahead and charge this, see how long it takes, and then we'll do highway driving. Oh my gosh, okay, so I forgot that the plug is right there. Oh man, I think I gotta turn it around backwards. We'll see if this reaches. I doubt it will. Oh man, okay. No, will not reach. Okay. All right. Okay, so it is now charging 0%. That's how I parked it, because I'm way too exhausted to move it any other way. All right. CCS combo. Now, Mini says this will charge in about 36 minutes. Let's go ahead and see what time it is. Okay, I can just see through here. So it is currently 5:22. If you guys can see that in there. So it's 5:22. And we will see if this is done 36 minutes from now. Okay, everyone. So just to explain what's going on, obviously you can see I'm wearing a completely different everything. That's because this is a different day. Now, earlier when I showed you what time it was when I started charging, that was actually the time it would be done, so I apologize. But to update you guys on what happened, I had to go home for a few things, so I'm doing the highway driving on a different day. And in case you're wondering about charging cost, the charging time was about 37 minutes to get to 80%, and it charged me about $9.99. So there you have it there. Now I'm fully charging and topping it off. Boom, it literally just ended 100%. So I'm gonna go ahead and unplug this. There we go. All right, so we're at 100% now. Let's cap this bad boy up. Alrighty. Okay. I had preconditioning going, so that way everything's pretty much set up to its optimal, whatever we need to do. Okay, so where I'm going to is, whoa. Where I'm going to is a little place in Los Angeles, and it's called Sonora Town. It's this really good, like, burrito place, if you like burritos. And it says here, I don't know if you guys can see, it's 51 miles away. It'll take me 48 minutes to get there. So the range, estimated range right now is showing 92 miles on 100%. Now, as we saw in the city driving, I got well above that. So let's go ahead and get going.
Down, yeah. I've been feeling so down, yeah. Can you tell me why? I'm down.
Okay, so let me describe a little bit about this test right now. So I have cruise control set to 71 miles per hour, which I feel like is a decent speed. I'm being slightly economical while also staying at a pretty reasonable speed where I'm not in the slow lane the whole time. And I have AC on. Fan speed's about 2. I'm in green mode, not gonna go near green plus just like I did in the city. It's just me driving. And then remember, we're running Eagle F1 tires. These are pretty sticky tires. If you were to get a lot more of a low resistance tire, it may prove better than what this test may be showing. Now, quick update. So when I left, it was 92 miles. I have now traveled 11.7 miles, and it says I have 98 miles remaining. So my range actually went up, which is very good to see. And I'm getting 4.2 miles per kilowatt hour right now with that consistent speed set. So I'm pretty comfortable right now. I don't have heated seats on or anything like that. I've got my radio blasting whenever I'm not recording. And yeah, so most people wouldn't even make the trip because, you know, when you do the math, you won't even make it all the way back. So this is an hour commute. So for anyone who has an hour commute, we're gonna see if this can handle that hour commute despite what the range readout says. And it's 91 degrees outside, so keep that in mind as well. So we're gonna go ahead and continue, and I'll update you guys once I get there.
On the ball like BB, don't make no mistakes. Got the faith. The 18 just not gonna be the same. Finna bleed down generations, not gonna be.
All right, you guys. So I just got into Los Angeles, and I'm exactly 1 mile away from my destination. So it's gonna be 1 mile of driving, like maybe 25-ish miles an hour. So obviously that's going to up my miles per kilowatt hour, but it's been surprisingly good on the highway. Let's see here. And I can go ahead and tell you guys what I've got because I only have 1 mile left. So I got 4.4 miles per kilowatt hour on the highway, which is pretty insane. And I kid you not, I kept 71 the whole way. This doesn't have adaptive cruise, so it doesn't slow down for the cars in front of you. So what I was doing is I was literally just weaving left and right. If there's a car in front of me that's going slower, I would weave to the left, weave back to the right.
All right, so just to sum up the rest of what was going on, I began my trip back to where I started. It was the same 51 miles. So when I had set my trip in Waze, it got started going back. Now, there was a little bit of traffic on the way back, but it was only for a brief amount of time, and I pretty much kept the same 71 miles. Now, once I got back to this charging station, I actually had about 20 miles remaining, and I had traveled a little bit above 100 miles. And I actually did a little bit of sport driving just to make the battery go down and have a little fun with the car, since I had not done that yet. I'll show you guys that footage in just a quick second. But basically, to let you guys know the final range number, I hit about 114 miles of total range with 90% highway driving. And that's pretty good. A little bit above the EPA is something that you really want to see, because I felt like that was a pretty decent test. So if you are planning on doing a trip that's longer for your commute, just throw it in green mode and you'll pretty much be good to hit those exact EPA numbers.
All right, everyone, so I made it to the charging station, and I have 104.3 miles on the trip odometer that I traveled. So if you have an hour commute, you can make it there and back. I also had 20 miles remaining right now. And yeah. So now that we've seen how well this can do, I figured the best way to use the remainder of my range is to do some fun driving. We're in a Mini. So let's go ahead and we're gonna turn off this traction control right now. I'm gonna throw it in a sport mode, and we're gonna go out with a bang with these remaining miles. Now, I wanna say right off the bat, in terms of dynamics, now when you actually drive this in a fun manner, it's great. It's so good. It's almost like Model 3 performance good. In terms of just the overall feel, handling, and the steering feel. The steering feel is incredible. Having this big chunky steering wheel is great. And obviously the instant torque literally makes this feel like an electric go-kart. So if you've ever done indoor electric go-karts, this is the closest thing I've driven to that actual feeling on the road. So anyways, enough talking about it. Let's go ahead and do it. Ooh. So the torque is good. Now these tires, they grip super well. So we have this little random roundabout. And let's see. And I mean, it handles super well. Oh, and this thing goes. Whew. Everything's just flying around. Okay. So I'm gonna send it on this right. We're gonna see how well these tires grip. I'm gonna throw down the AC a little bit, that way you guys can get some noise. Okay, here we go. So full send. A lot of wheel spin, and then it grips. All right. Got the green arrow. See if we can catch up with this 5 Series right here. So really hard turn. I mean, this thing just cooks. Woo. Man, this thing is good. That's where I really enjoy this a lot better than the i3. This is just a much more engaging and more fun to drive vehicle than the i3. The i3 is good, but this is what it should have been in the first place. Mini should have done this first because it's really good. Well, everyone, that's gonna wrap up my review of the Mini SE. I think it's a great little car. For the price, I think it's a solid deal. And just imagine these in a few years when they're used. I think I'll see a lot of these on the road once these are used in a few years, because at that point, it's just gonna be an absolute bargain. And for the fun that you can have in this, for the quality you get on the inside, and this is probably, no offense Mini, one of the most reliable Minis you'll probably be able to buy, if we're being honest here. But it's a good package. I think if it had a little bit more range, I would hands down consider getting one for myself, because it's really good. I like it a lot. Comment below, let me know what you guys think. Would you get this Mini SE? Do you think it has to have more range? I think as a commuter, it would be solid to have as a second car. Also, if you like this content, be sure to let me know by hitting that like button, subscribe for more, and I'll see you in the next review.